Getting ready for the women's 1500-meter invite. Welcome to Jack M. Tom's track on this Friday night. If you're watching from home, stay inside. It is rainy and getting colder by the minute here in the Hill City. Perfect conditions for the home opener, right? And this is always the condition that you have to deal with early in the season as we really enter that spring weather. Let's go ahead and take a look at this women's 1500 heat, and this is going to be an intriguing one led by Sophie Farley of Longwood, a 427 PR. We saw her win several events here at Jack M. Tom's track last year. Won it with a 435 1500, and the program's first Big South All-Conference selection has put together something stellar in the last few years. Just to put into perspective her talent at the 800 level, she owns all of the top 5 800 performances in Lancer history. You can see she is often running on the inside in the Navy singlet, and that is where she intends to stay for the remainder of this race. But several other athletes that could be in the mix. Kate Loescher for Liberty has a 5-minute mile mark, two-time 6A state champ at Colonial Forge High School, also competing at the New Balance Cross Country Championships back during those days. So she's going to have the opportunity to move forward, as you see right away. Farley not wasting any time. This women's 1500. Jensen Kraft of Kutztown is in there with Laura Ham of Rio Grande, Samantha Bolin of Longwood, Anna Fletcher of Liberty, Violet Wall of Concord, Sydney O'Hara Wood of Longwood, with Winter Tejan and Delaney Salisbury for the Lynchburg Hornets, Priscilla Keller for Longwood, Maria Reed for Virginia Tech Running Club through at 53, and this is an impressive start. We'll put you right around 426 pace. Mentioned that last year it was 435 for Farley. She is still running very quickly. Think about those program record marks, and she has owned several of them. A chance to go and rewrite the record book again. Finished third at the conference championships in the 1500 as well. And so when you think about what Farley has put together throughout her tenure, it has really been impressive just to see in the early years of her collegiate career where it's taking her. So Farley surging ahead. Comfortable gap between first and second, and then even second and third. Samantha Bolin, her Lancers teammate, running strongly in second. You see so many of these names and the returners for these programs who come back to this meet, and the progression is something special as the years go on. Lancers sit first and second. For the moment, Laura Ham of Rio Grande sitting in third, 450 1500 PR. She was 16th at the NAIA Indoor Championships in the women's mile as well. Won 3 events at the conference championship. So the level of success that so many of these athletes have seen is pretty special. Farley through 700 at 2:08, so with 2 laps to go, trying to track down a time inside 4:30. Right now, it is Farley and everyone else on that back straightaway, entering with 600 to go. To run a race like this, where the conditions are already tricky, is very impressive when you run it solo. Going to be a strong battle for second. 4 athletes will be in that chase pack, and Farley looking to go against the clock. Talked to her last year after several of her wins, and she said, you know what, it's really been an exciting time. Think about early in your career to see that level of success. The bell rings at 3:26, 400 meters left, and the race for second starting to heat up. Laura Ham right now by inches at 3:31, 5 seconds behind the leader. Mentioned her stellar performance the River States Indoor Championships, won the 800, the 1K, and the mile. It was one of those days you don't forget. Sophie Farley has had several of those in her Lancers career, and she's only speeding up on that back straightaway. The stride hasn't looked to break a bit as we enter the final curve and straight. 4:04 on the clock. This has to be a great feeling. And now going against the clock, we will see if it's inside of 4:30. That's going to be a very tricky mark now as she is behind that pace. Rain's starting to come down a little bit heavier, and Farley holding on to the pace now on this 100 meters. Won the event with 4:35 last year, and trying to weather the conditions. She'll do so in 4:40 fashion this year. Laura Ham soars into second. And we'll look at that last lap. It's Violet Wall of Concord. Moved up a few positions and able to get a podium spot. Sophie Farley really had a slower middle lap than anything else. Accelerated by 4 seconds from that third lap to the final one. Safe to say, even for early in the season, that's the confidence that you want. For Farley, as we said, a long program record holder in the 5K. 16:48 is the mark. And the 1,500 to 4:27. So every time she PRs, she's getting closer and closer to adding some historic performances for the Lancers.